Fuck, bruh.
Billionaire dreams. I know niggas who played ball and gave it up for lean.
Millionaire thoughts, billionaire dreams, but my account in overdraft, I'm about to scream.
Rich man greed,
A poor man prayers,
every man bleeds.
but look how God made us.
Too many losses, it's only right that we win. Yeah, I made a promise I'm never gonna lose again.
Under the Fair Use Act, these videos are for information and educational purposes, and I do not own the rights to any of these videos that are shown. All rights reserved to the original content creators.
Yo, what's going on? It's your boy SL550, and this is the Never Gonna Lose Again podcast. Yo, I just flicked some shit, so you probably heard me curse it before I started the intro. But man, my screen went out. But anyway, yo, make sure you like, share, subscribe to the channel. Help your boy on the road to monetization, man. Yo, boy, trying to get monetized, man. And I'm almost a quarter of a way there, man. You know, I'm at like 119 or something like that last time I checked. So make sure y'all hit that subscribe button for your boy if you didn't. Also hit that like button. Hit that notification bell so you get notified every time your boy drop a dope video. So today, man, I want to go. My main video that I want to play, it's long, it's a whole John. I'm not gonna play the whole entire thing. I want to play like a good 20 minutes of it. But Dave the Business Bully was on the Daily Wrap Up crew, and he was like really going in, you know, on a lot of different topics, political, on black people, and just a lot of things in general. So we gonna tap in with that video, and then we gonna react to that. Also, we about to react to Mike Johnson. Pretty much gives his speech again on what the Democrats are doing right now, the reason why the shutdown is happening, and you know how they're just trying to use the American people for a political purpose, man. And it's just like, I've been having this conversation this last couple of days, man, and I said it on the last pod, man. It's just really crazy how much control these people have over a lot of things. And, this is why I say this stuff is deeper than politics, but it's important to, be involved, man. And at minimum, learn about what's going on. So when things happen, you're ready and you can prepare for it, and more importantly, like I said, this should have been and should be a wake-up call for a lot of people, especially black folks, because I'm black, bro. So when I speak on my people, it's because I'm black and I really want the best for our people. And in order for us to have the best and be the best that we can, we have to be more educated. And a lot of times that I talk to people about politics and just, history in general, on black culture, on culture, a lot of times we just ignore it because we're not interested in it. It's not cool enough. It's not what we do. But it's a lot of things that we don't do, and it's the reason why we are on the bottom of the totem pole in education, finances, and we don't own nothing. You know what I mean? So, we got all the potential to be great in America, but we've been programmed to not care about a lot of things that are very, very detrimental. Very, very positive, can be very, very positive for our lifestyles and the things that we do. You know what I mean? But instead, we choose to care about things, what we have, jewelry, clothes, Jordans, this, that, all things. Meanwhile, we really don't have nothing at the end of the day. So, that's mainly the things I like talking about, really. Even though I talk about a lot of politics, that's because that's what's hot, that's what's going on. But my main focus is really on us and our culture and how we need to really be more educated. And I'm speaking to myself first before anybody. So when I speak, just know I'm also speaking to myself. So then we going to tap in with Devin Gibson. He had a whole video breaking down this guy, Mamdani. And the reason why I'm playing this video is specifically because I want to talk about the narrative on Muslims, because it kind of annoys me a little bit being as though I'm Muslim. But just, we're going to get into that. But it's a reason why it's really not really what he's playing the video for, even though you can get some insight with that. I really wanted to talk about some other things too. And then we're going to get into that video with Dave Anderson, the business bully. So let's get into it. This is Speaker Mike Johnson going in.
28 of the Democrat shutdown.
Hold on. My bad.
Almost a month into this, and we wanted to highlight a couple of things and a few members this morning. There are some very important developments. But before we get to all that, one of the things that we wanted to note is that really it's painfully obvious to everyone the true motivation of the Democrats' historic obstruction has now become very clear for everyone. I want to use a little simple, Lily, if you show me this real quick. Just real quick, simple facts, because these too much. But there are simple facts about the Democrat shutdown that everybody needs to recognize. Here's 4 of them. First of all, we have to have Democrats to reopen the government. You know that in the Senate, it requires 60 votes to break an impasse.
Now listen to what he's saying right here, because this is what I want. A lot of people who just want to blame Donald Trump for everything. This right here, I said this on my last show, but this right here is really, really important for people to understand because it matters. You know, they want to put out this narrative, but this really matters.
Wait, hang it on, Lily, hold it real here. Keep it close to the podium. I want everybody to see this, okay? We're going to make it simple. I had my 15-year-old son and some of his friends were together over the weekend, and they wanted me to explain it to them as simply as possible. This is the little formulation, okay? Hey, fellas, remember from civics, you got to have 60 votes in the Senate. We only have 53 Republicans, so we must have Democrats to do it. The Democrats are out trying to claim that this is all on Republicans because we control the government. We don't control the Senate without 60 votes, so you have to have them. Now they've voted 13 times, those Senate Democrats. Counting the House and the Senate together, they voted 13 times to keep the government closed. And what they're demanding as a ransom to reopen the government are some really crazy things. They want to restore $200 billion in health benefits paid for by U.S. taxpayers to illegal aliens and non-citizens. We can't do that. They want billions of dollars in wasteful programs to be returned to foreign countries for things.
Now, what he's saying about the foreign countries thing, like this stuff is important, bro, because they've been wasting our money for so long, and it's parts of the reason why we so much in debt. And the programs that he was talking about, he mentioned it. He went into detail about that on one of these, because he's been, going live and having these press conferences, and he went into detail about it. But he was breaking it down and gave some of the details of what they were using USAID for. And remember, Trump with Doge went into USAID and pretty much shut down everything. So understand, bro, Donald Trump is trying to avoid wasting any more of taxpayer money, right? And that's a good thing for taxpayers, because ultimately if we save enough money, we can bring down the debt, and also we can eliminate taxes, income taxes altogether. Ultimately, we're going to have to pay somewhat taxes, which is fine. Nobody really minds paying taxes. It's like paying into society. Cool, fine. But when you're paying all of this money and then you got Democrats who want to continue to keep raising them taxes, right? Because they keep wanting to fund all of these so-called important foreign projects when they're not important at all, bro. And at the end of the day, every country has leaders and leadership. And it's not America's or the taxpayers' fault, because ultimately it all boils down to the taxpayers. The government doesn't run without the taxpayers. It doesn't run without Americans working and putting into the system. The government doesn't work, right? That should be every other country. But there's a lot of countries leaders who just, treat their countries like garbage cans, unfortunately. But in America, they think that we're supposed to just take care of every country. And that's not how things work, bro.
That none of you would agree with. We're not going to do that. They want $500 million to go back to left-leaning news organizations paid for by taxpayers. We can't do that. And then they want to cut $50 billion from the Rural Hospital Fund that Republicans got signed into law July 4th to prop up health care in red states and rural areas around the country. It's too important, but they want to take that away. They know that we can't do it. And now that they've begun to admit what this is all about, thanks, Lee, you put it on the thing there. They're admitting what they're up to. Chuck Schumer said every day of the shutdown gets better for us, meaning the Democrat Party. And you know, we had the second-ranked Democrat in the House, the minority whip, who just said a few days ago, the end of last week, that we know that this is causing great pain for the American people, but we have to use this leverage. We don't have many times where we have leverage like this. And so they've shown you what the real motivation is. But ultimately, why are they doing all that? Let me summarize this really quickly, as simply as I can, for the civic students back home. Republicans are not demanding anything, literally nothing. All we want is to reopen the government. The Democrats are demanding all those things I just showed you on the chart, plus a lot more. When I say they want to send money to foreign countries, this is some of the things that they would propose.
All right, so look. So after this, we're going to end this because he talked about this before. I played something similar to this. He's basically reiterating so Americans can understand that this is not the Republicans who want to keep the government shut down. Now, he let it be known, and this is what people need to understand. With this CR bill, you need 60 votes. Yes, the Republicans have the House and the Senate, but that's only 53 votes, if I'm not mistaken, which means you need Democrat votes in order to pass the bill. So this is why the second person behind, I think, Hakeem Jeffries, I don't know her name, but I played her on her last show. This is why she said this is the only leverage we have. That's all they have, bro, is using you, Americans, as leverage to get all of these unnecessary things. I told you, bro. Trump made it to where they can no longer rob you, and they're upset about it. Understand this. All of these things that they want, this is how they funnel money through these NGOs, these fake foreign projects, right? And a lot of these Democrats and others get backdoor money, bro. Excuse me. They've been robbing us for decades, bro, and they're mad because Trump turned the spigot off. And that's all this boils down to. They want him, they're trying to force him to turn the spigot back on. But they're dealing with a different type of guy. And ultimately, you got, if you have enough podcasters and people with enough common sense outside of, the legacy media, because you can't count on them. The only people that's really giving you the real information is Fox News. But a lot of people have been manipulated to think that Fox News is, I guess a Nazi playbook or something. I don't know. But what I'm telling you is, this is a fact, that they want this. This is on paper. He showed people this is on paper. He's about to explain these fake foreign projects that they want. And just think about this, bro. This is what your taxpayer money is going to. And this is the reason why they shut down the government, so they can continue to give illegal immigrants health care. Understand, this is all coming to an end. These subsidies that they're talking about with Obamacare is coming to an end this year. The One Big Beautiful Bill goes into effect in January. In the One Big Beautiful Bill, you can no longer, as an able-bodied man, get food stamps. That's why you got guys that's on social media mad because their funds are getting cut. Right? Because you can go to work. Go to work, you bum. Simple. Just go to work. Stop being a fucking bum. Then, they're putting stipulations for women. If their kids are a certain age, you got to go to work. You got to go to work. Donald Trump is trying to make it to where the program is used and efficient for how it's supposed to be used, how it was intended to be used. They said it's somewhere upwards of like 43 million Americans that get SNAP benefits or some type of, I guess, social help or some shit like that, some welfare help. That's a lot of people, bro. That's a lot of people, bro. A lot. So,
that we spend money on again. They're demanding, this is a ransom to reopen the government. Things like $4 million for global LGBTQI plus awareness campaigns around the world. $4 million for the LGBTQI plus democracy grants in the Balkans. They want $2 million for feminist democratic principles projects in Africa. We're not doing that. But again, the question is why? Why? This sounds crazy. It is. Why would they do this? And what we saw on vivid display over the weekend was the re-emphasis of this fact. This is motivated purely out of fear. And what do we mean by that? You saw the Democratic leader in the House, Hakeem Jeffries, endorse Zohran Mamdani for mayor of New York City on Friday. It was an illustration of what we're facing here. The Democrats right now fear the far left activists more than they fear air traffic controllers, Border Patrol agents, American service members, and so many others missing their paychecks. They fear the Marxist insurgents like Mamdani more than they fear families and children going hungry from lapsed benefits that keep food on their tables. They simply fear losing their own political positions next November if they don't appease the angry far-left base right now. And they will appease that base at any cost, no matter how much pain's inflicted. In fact, they've said in their own words, this gets better for us day by day. How does it get better? Because they're proving to the angry far-left base in their party that they will prioritize them over the American people.
All right, so that's that video right there. Pretty much, he was just basically going in, letting it be known that these people are literally, holding Americans ransom to try to get all of these things put into this CR bill. But the the Republicans aren't budging on this, and they shouldn't, bro. And most Americans don't want them to. So it's crazy, man. So let's get into this next video with Devin Gibson. Shout out to him. Now, we live in America. We live in mostly, it's mixed. You got Muslims, Christians, Catholics, all types of Jews, all types of different people. And but this guy, he's a Christian. I respect him. I respect Officer Tatum too. But the thing that I dislike is the things that they say about Muslims because of their views in America about Muslims. So I want to play this, and we're going to talk about the things that's in the video. But I also wanted to explain some things too. So let's get into this next video.
Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Danger, Will Robinson. Danger. No, Will Robinson. Danger.
We must remember, in a time such as this, we are not the crazy ones, New York City. We are not the outlandish ones, New York City. They want us to think we are crazy. We are sane.
Wait for it. Here it comes.
Jews escaping Holocaust. Black Americans fleeing slavery.
Bro, it's the same. Bro, it's the same. I don't know what's up. Why do they do that? I don't understand, but it's not the 1960s no more, dog. Like, they always do that. They start getting out. We ain't in slavery no more. We rising above the campaign.
And Jim Crow, Latinos seeking a better life, Native
like
people standing for themselves, Asian Americans coming together in Queens, in Brooklyn, in the Bronx, in Manhattan, in Staten Island, in this country.
Don't do drugs. If you're doing it, stop it.
Hey, yo,
get some help.
You have a fare box on a bus. It increases the sight of...
All right, so I wanted to say something about AOC. So AOC, she's funny, bro, because, yo, bro, I don't know what's up with these people, bro. Like, they are becoming the Democratic Party is becoming very radical, and I don't know what it is, bro, but I mean, bro, especially as us black people, bro, why do we keep falling for it, though? I mean, come on, bro. Every person that got melanin in their skin doesn't mean us good. You know what I mean? Like, we gotta understand that part. I mean, they run away all the time. Another thing is, bro, all they sell you is hope. It's hope. This guy right here, mind you, he Muslim. But, bro, not all Muslims are good they don't speak for all Muslims. Just because this guy is a socialist, communist, believer, whatever you want to call him, doesn't mean he speaks for all Muslims. You know what I mean? And that's what I wanted to talk about, but let's get into it.
Tension of conflict of assaults. When you remove that fare box, rather, what you find is a safer experience, not just for the riders, but also for the operators.
So what do you make of this Mamdani guy who's leading in the polls, the so-called democratic socialist?
I would scare me if I lived in New York.
Well, you don't. You live in Kansas. Why do you think he's so popular here?
I don't know.
Free.
See,
the word free.
Now that's a fact. And that's what they do. That's what that's been the Democratic playbook forever. Free. Vote for us, you get everything for free. When it's never for free. They use that, and this is what makes me mad about, especially our people. And like I said, bro, I'm speaking to our people because we need to wake up the most. I feel as though, and that's my opinion. I could be wrong. Let me know if I am. But the free thing isn't free because all of these things that they're asking for gets paid by taxpayers. So him giving free bus rides and free child care for every New Yorker and all of this stuff, it's who you think paying for it? The taxpayers of New York, bro. Which means taxes go up, things go up. It's got to be paid for. It's not free, bro. You think people are going to be watching people's kids in daycares for free? Come on, bro. Like, people can say what they want about capitalists. Is there greed out here? Is there greedy people? Is there people that take advantage of the unfortunate? Yes. You know what I mean? But there's ways around, it's things that we need to do. You got to vote the right people in. You got to make sure, we holding people accountable, But and what's the name? Dave, the business bully, gonna get into a lot of that.
You're exactly right.
Free.
We, the people who actually work, will be paying for everything.
Mamdani. Yes, he will raise our taxes, let us get robbed, take our homes, and even kill us. But at least you'll sleep good knowing that you're not a racist, Islamophobic bigot, right? So rent, free welfare, free bus rides, loot what you want when you want. Oh, girl, you just got to vote for Mamdani. Gay pride parades every day, free hormones and puberty blockers for kids. And mandatory pronouns and drag shows in all schools. Go, girl.
When a man running for mayor says, we came here to remake this state in the image of our people.
We came here to remake this state in the image of our people.
You should probably believe him. That's not a slip of the tongue, America. That's a mission statement. And here's the question every New Yorker ought to ask. What exactly does he mean by our people? Because the last time I checked, this state was built on Christian grit, moral law, and a constitution written under the eyes of the Almighty. Not a foreign manifesto written halfway around the world. If you wanted that, go to one of the 51 Islamic states that already exist. Now, some folks try to wrap this in the word they don't even understand, taqiyya. The Quran mentions it only in one sense, hiding your faith under persecution. It was never meant as a license to deceive, lie, manipulate your way into power. I guess some politicians miss that fine print while campaigning under diversity, equity, and inclusion. The DEI mandate. But let's talk a little bit of law. Under Title 8 USC subsection 1451, denaturalization is possible only if the government proves fraud or willful misrepresentation in the citizenship process, concealing allegiance to another power, committing perjury, or aiding an enemy. Which is, you see that note right there by his father? That's who raised him, and they seem to think suicide bombers are fine. Actually, they think that they're underutilized. That's what I mean when I say aiding an enemy. It's rare, but it's real. Ideology alone doesn't do it, but deception does. So if any man stood before a federal officer, swore loyalty to the United States of America, and then turned around and vowed to remake that state in the image of his people, that oath deserves scrutiny. Because America isn't a sandbox for imported theocracies. It's a covenant nation. One nation. Under God. Not under Allah.
All right, so I'll let this guy, Gene Robinson, say all that just to get to that part right there. So he says, now, this is what I mean, and this is what upsets me, like, about people. Listen, bro, if you Christian, cool. We live in a Christian country, pretty much. Even though you have Muslims, Jews, and all different type of religions that are in America, right? That's what America is. It's multicultural, which was part of the plan, allegedly, for it to happen like this. But anyway, the thing that I dislike is when he says stuff like this. This is one nation under God, not one nation under Allah. Now, he literally, verbatim, said the same thing. One nation under Allah means one nation under God. What are you talking about? But see, when you're ignorant and you don't know anything, right, then you say anything. And the thing that I dislike, that this guy, Mamdani, he might be a radical Muslim, right? You know, the things that he talk about, I don't like. It's just like every other Democrat, though. It doesn't have nothing to do with Islam. You feel what I'm saying? But if let's say he does have an agenda, right? What does that have to do with the whole of Muslims? That's the thing that I dislike about a lot of these, as far as that topic goes, as far as religion goes, which we don't got to get into, but I'm just saying, I don't like the ignorance behind people. Listen, if you can disagree, you're Christian, you don't like Islam, cool, fine. But stop saying that Muslims are terrorists when that's not true. It's not true. It's just not. You've been sold that lie that Muslims are terrorists. You've been told that in movies. You've been programmed to assume that all Muslims are terrorists, but they're not. And if you have the privilege or you want to do some real journalism, actually go to Mecca during Ramadan and see all the Asians, the blacks, Nigerians, Egyptians, Pakistan, all of them that come to Mecca and pray to one God, Allah, which means God in Arabic, just to let you know. So when he says, not one nation under Allah, you literally just said the same thing, my guy. I'm just saying. I know that he's coming from a place of ignorance. And we're from America. I love America. You know what I'm saying? And I get the frustration, you know, to a degree. But, bro, stop putting the whole of anything. Bro, because you can say that about Christians. You can say that about Jews. You can say that about every set of people. You have extremes in every one of them. I believe a lot of these Democrats are. I believe some of the Republicans were in the past. They've done things that aren't really, let's be honest, that if you ask other countries that had to deal with, you know, civilians dying and shit like that, they would pretty much call America terrorist. You know what I mean? So my thing is, I be like this with all of that. No, war is not good. Terrorism is not good. You know what I mean? But the people who put bombs on their chest and scream Allahu Akbar, they don't represent my religion. They've been lied to. They've been programmed. You feel me? And they're called extremists. And you have extremists in every religion. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to get that off real quick because that stuff be annoying. But let's see what else he got in this video.
But under God, not under Sharia, not under socialism, not under any other flag. We don't need to remake New York. We need to redeem it. The blood, the faith, and the labor that built it were already enough. And every politician who forgets that, remember, you swore to defend this republic, not redesign it.
This nigga sound like a motherfucking auto book. He sound, nigga sound crazy.
Yeah, boy.
He wasn't really saying anything wrong. You know what I'm saying? I just think that was ignorant, the comment that he made. You know what I mean? Talk about Mamdani. Talk about him. Don't talk about Islam and a religion, because Islam and a religion is very peaceful and anti-war and all of them things. If you really, really understood the religion, really studied the religion.
Why?
Commy Mamdani has a new friend, and he couldn't be happier about him.
Check out the pal smiling from ear to ear on social media. Mamdani wrote, I had the pleasure of meeting with Imam Siraj Waj, one of the nation's foremost Muslim leaders and a pillar of the Bed-Stuy community for nearly half a century. That's certainly one way to describe the man arm in arm with the future mayor. Another way is to say that Wahaj served as a character witness for the mastermind of the 1993 World Trade Center bombing, claiming that he was he was a respected scholar. A longtime defender of convicted terrorists, this imam also raised money for their legal defenses. And no surprise, he's trashed the United States.
You know what this country is? It's a garbage can. It's filthy. Filthy and sick.
Oh, he's sick. Here to discuss New York Congresswoman Nicole Maliotakis.
And hold on, and another thing too is that you got different sects of Muslim too. Like, not all Muslims are the same, bro. Just to let you know that too. Just so you know. There's a lot of different sects of Muslims, people that do things that, I'm a Sunni Muslim. I don't represent, some of the things other Muslims do. You know what I mean?
Congresswoman,
ultimately,
one could argue that, look, politicians take photos with everyone. Bloomberg's, been with this guy, and I think Adams, at one point, he campaigned alongside of him. So he's been out and about for a while. So why does this matter now?
Because it's not just him. I mean, the saying, show me who your friends are, I'll tell you who you are. That is applicable here. Zohran Mamdani has palled around with socialists, with communists. Now this radical extremist imam. This is somebody who is anti-American. This is somebody, as you mentioned, has defended the convicted plotters of the World Trade Center bombing. And he has to come out and actually denounce Hamas. He still has not done that. He did it in a mild way during the debate. But this is a communist sympathizer. He's a terrorist sympathizer. And I will tell you something else. 1993, Zohran was still a baby in diapers in Uganda, Africa. He is only 34 years old. He's only been in this city as a citizen for 7 years. He does not have the experience, he does not have the knowledge to be mayor of the largest city in the nation. And his policies are just downright dangerous. He has called the NYPD the greatest threat to society, to our city, to public safety. He wants to eliminate jails completely. He wants to legalize prostitution. These are radical and destructive policies. I truly believe that the people in New York City do not want this, that they actually don't. And I think millions of immigrants that have fled socialism and communism, like my mother, will be the difference in this election. I think more people need to know what socialism is, and it's incumbent upon people who've experienced it and fled it to actually teach the younger generation about it. Why did Zohran and his family come here if they don't like our values? If they wanted socialism,
to change the
communism,
country. Now, Nicole, Congresswoman, sorry, you're so young, Nicole. Because they want to change the country. Because it's better than where they were, right? It's better than they still don't like it. They want to change the country. They want to totally upend the old system and put in a new system. I'm sure the radical imam wants more of an Islamic way of living, and that's moderate for him. But I don't think most people get that that's kind of what the plan is from the radical side. They don't understand that.
Now, see, I can understand what she's saying, and I get it. I get it. Shout out to Devin Gibson. I'll definitely put this link in his YouTube channel. Make sure y'all go subscribe. Definitely a dope content creator. I fuck with him. The thing is this, is that might be true, to be honest. A lot of people are in America and they are here and they're not here for good reasons, and they have infiltrated Congress the same way Israel has. There's a lot of people that's in Congress, that's in the government, that's in all of these parts of, how America functions. And I wouldn't say they here for the best interest of America. A lot of these people have interests in their own country, which is Israel, and it might be the same thing for a person like Mamdani. You know what I mean? We don't know. But that's the thing. We live in America. It's multicultural. And remember that video I showed of that Congress guy. I forget his name, but I know Mark Levin was the one who was talking about it. That was all the way back in 2003. And he was talking about that was one of the parts of the plans, is make it multicultural. So, at the end of the day, you kind of got to blame, one side, Democrats, Republicans, both. Who knows? But, we definitely live in a crazy country, bro. But you know, they be talking about, you know, it's funny because they talk about Sharia law and stuff like that, right? But if you go to like Dubai, for instance, like a lot of people go to Dubai. It's nice, more of a richer Islamic state, but it's the safest though. So you know, at the end of the day, I think that America should adopt some of them laws. You wouldn't have so many people dying. You wouldn't have so many people living the way we live. But you know, through and through, I'm American, dog. So you know, I'm America first. But I do love my religion, and I just hate that though. I just hate that everybody be like, you know, just putting so much on everything as a whole. It's like, bro, just because AOC is radical, or just because Mamdani is radical or a socialist, he said he's a socialist. He let you know he was a socialist, so you know where he stands. So it's not a secret. So when people go out in the street and they support him and they cheering, when he won, because I believe he won the primary, and they were cheering. They loved it. They love him. So, you know, you got to understand, bro, when you're weak-minded and you're not a logical thinker, you know, people here free. And, you know, believe it or not, a lot of people want a socialist society. Who was that? My guy, Patrick Bet-David, had a debate with a bunch of socialists, Americans, who hate capitalism and all of that, you know? But yeah, man, it's crazy though. It's a lot going on, bro. That's what I be saying, but this stuff is way bigger than some Democrat and Republican shit. This shit get deep, man. Yo, but let's get into this last video, man, with Dave, the business bully. He was on the Daily Wrap-Up crew, and he had a dope interview, man.
The South Side of Chicago. Do you not know black people?
Gave a lot of good insight. Let's fast forward this a little bit.
Like, you know what I mean? So, like, there was a time I had bars.
I had bars. You should have started it off with
it. It makes sense. Can you explain to us what motivated you to write this book?
All right. So the truth of the matter is, in our time, we have a lot of people who spend their time just complaining, like always complain. Oh Lord, when we's going to do, and there's an orange man in the White House, and I just, you still got to pay your bills, right? And then whenever I put up something, whether it's on my channel, I Never Knew TV, or if I'm doing one of these wonderful interviews, people are always in the comments section being, you know, thumb poets. Well, my brother, I need you to understand metaphysically what the solution is. Why don't you give us a solution while you pontificate on the problems, my brother? So I gave you 36,000 words of
Okay. That is one thing I do appreciate about you, even on your YouTube channel.
Yeah.
You address the issues, and then you actively have solutions. Like, it's not just, I'm just talking my shit. Like, I'm just getting this off. Like, you have some actual tangible solutions, and I can appreciate that.
And the thing I love, and I'm gonna check that book out too. But the thing I love is what he just mentioned, because I said that about the Democratic Party multiple times, is that they can say what they want, they can yell, they can sell hope all they want. But what's the solutions? You know, the nigga Mamdani, for instance, he's talking about free bus fare, free child care, free, but he's not giving you the solutions on how to pay for that. I think they said something like he wanted to add 2% tax on the rich or something like that. But understand something, bro. These all people that have money are going to do, like they did in California, is flee. That's it. New York City is going to lose business. People are going to leave. They can afford to do it. You know? Do they probably want to stay in New York and continue what they had going on? Probably, but it's going to be a lot of changes, unfortunately, to that city, man.
About you. You started off the book saying that the system isn't broken, is working just fine.
Yeah.
How does reframing it as it's a perfectly tuned trap, I believe you said in the book. How does that reframing it that way help change the way Black Americans
I'm actually playing a video.
That?
Look at it like this. If somebody hates you, there's no amount of facts, there's no amount of love, there's no amount of roses you can give them that's going to turn them around if they got it in their head to hate you. Right? Now, let's talk finances. If there is an entire set of industries based on your suffering, based on your ignorance, based on your inability to take care of yourself from a health standpoint, if 85% of foundational Black American populated neighborhoods are food deserts, of course you're gonna go to Church's Chicken, McDonald's, and nothing against the good peoples at Church's Chicken and McDonald's, but we all know what it leads to. You know, I know what it led to. So if I can keep you fat and on that sugar, then we can start campaigning on, I'm going to give you $35 diabetes medication, black people. Nah, we're not doing that. If in fact we continue to have this situation where we believe that robbing and killing and stealing on radio is okay and saying that's just the culture, when everybody who owns the distribution channels and the actual record companies happen to be palm colored and not chocolate colored, you have to understand that the system is working exactly how it was meant to. We're too either apathetic, ignorant, or stupid to recognize that we're playing in a game we no longer need to play into, and we need to turn inward. I've been to New York several times. I've lived in 34 cities in 19 states because I was in radio, and I found a little Italy everywhere I went. I found a Chinatown. I found a Hispanic neighborhood that was culturally controlled by Hispanics. Show me, by and large, where that is for black people if you take the hood out.
That good. That's we don't have
So
bars.
the system's working absolutely perfectly, and we keep getting the same thing. So for the past 60 years, it's been, well, all Republicans who are making millions are racist, and all the Democrats really love you. So we're going to come into the hood. We're going to wear some kente cloth. We're going to do the nay-nay a few times, and then you're going to vote for us, and we're going to give you nothing. Because if you vote one way, one time, they're not motivated to do anything for you, and the party you've been paying no attention to because you're so scared of them for whatever reason, they're not even going to come to the table. So my whole thing is we go independent. We take care of our finances. Like, name me 5 black banks. Go.
5 black banks?
One United, right? That's
One United.
Okay. That's it. That might be the only one I know. I ain't gonna lie.
I rest my case.
But yo, he gonna mention a lot of like small facts that are major though in his joint. That's what it was.
There's literally a bank called the China Bank. Name me a white bank. You could do it all day. Wells Fargo, Chase, Manhattan, JP Morgan.
All of them.
Do you see what I'm saying? We don't control anything financially. We don't control how we operate. We don't even have sense enough to locally go to our politicians and say, listen, when it comes to the way we are policed, because we love talking about it when a white person kills a black person, but we don't like to talk about the fact that cops would behave differently if there was some accountability. Here's what I mean. If the cop lives within a 5-mile radius of where he or she patrols, you better believe we're going to have a really nice, good relationship with the police. For sure. Because we know where you are. You see what I'm saying? Even our gangsters ain't really that gangster, respectfully.
I mean, Young Thug and them letting us know that right now. Like.
I mean, but did you need Young Thug to tell you that? Is George Zimmerman still breathing and signing packets of Skittles?
Sure is.
What about the dude who
signing packets of Skittles is crazy, bro. Yo, if that's true, that's wild.
Killed George Floyd. He's sitting in jail chilling. He ain't got yet. R. Kelly done got popped in jail. You see what I'm saying? The system works exactly how it's supposed to. Nobody expects anything from black people. And then they put it in movies. What did the Joker say in the hospital? He said, you know, if a gangbanger kills a bunch of kids, nobody gets mad because it's all part of the plan. Let a senator get killed. Let the CEO of a healthcare company die. All of a sudden, oh my God, you know who Luigi Mangione is, but you don't know who killed 3 people in Harlem or 30 people in Chicago last week.
God damn, bro. We ain't even 5 minutes in and this nigga talking, bro. He talking, bro. He giving straight facts and games. You know what's so crazy is that people that look like us will call him a coon, call him a sellout, you know, because he ain't telling you to be a slave to the Democratic Party, or because he ain't telling you to be a bum or a victim. You know, he ain't telling you nothing but what you need to be told is the truth about our people and how we need to wake the fuck up. And we can, but it's going to take more than just Dave, you know, Anderson, the business bully. It's going to take more than just a LeBron or Michael Jordan. It's going to take all of us collectively to really say, yo, we really got to make a change, because we're really the only culture that's behind, bro. Like, think about it. He just get how many banks we own? You know what I mean? Like, what do we own? Like, what do we truly really own? You know, most of the black people, and respects to them, because they doing some dope shit, and they opening doors for themselves and their families, and even more people outside of their families. Like a Shaquille O'Neal, he do a lot of partnerships and stuff like that, which is nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Like, it's nothing wrong with it. It's a lot of people that's making big money and big business moves. But when it comes down to it, all the major things that we use in our culture, like the rap game, it's not owned by us. NBA, the NFL, it's not owned by us. You know, all of these major things that, you know, the banks who take our money and then they go flip it 1,000 times, and, you know, they keep your little couple dollars in there. But, you know, all of the game is not given to us. And even our people aren't really, you know, you got few. Like, I don't want to shit on our people, because you do have people giving the game. Believe it or not, and people, you know, like to talk a lot of shit about Jay-Z, but Jay-Z smart. See, Jay-Z he understands that, you know, you look at what happened to Malcolm X, you look at what happened to Martin Luther King, you look at what happened to Michael Jackson, all of these greats, right, in our culture. He's looking at it like, I'm not going to be out there loud, but I'm going to give you the game. If you listen to 444, if you listen to even the old shit, like, he's been giving niggas game, like game. But but you got to take it like that. You know what I'm saying? But it's a lot of people that's in position to do some things. But I think, you know, I don't know, man. It's crazy. It's a crazy position, but let's get back to it, though, man. He talking.
Tell me how the system's not working.
It's just not working.
You said
for us.
Survival is not success. So how do we get from becoming out of a survival mode to get more into a dominant mode? Because many people in our community, all we know is survival. So how do we go from survival to dominant?
You choose to know survival. You can thrive whenever you want to. You guys are living proof. Okay, show of hands. How many people here have a broadcasting degree? How many people have an FCC license?
Oh, no.
How many people have put 1, 2, 3, 4 radio personalities in the Hall of Fame? So out of the 4 of us sitting here, there's only one real professional broadcaster here, right? Y'all are doing more money. I mean, we could probably run the AdSense, but I'm pretty sure you're making more money than my channel is.
Yo, he talking.
You can make a choice. You live in the best possible time you could ever live in to be black.
Yep.
Period, point blank. The gag is they have weapons of mass distraction to keep you focused on nonsense and BS.
Yo, I gotta tap in with this nigga, bro. Like, for real. It's like this nigga walking in my head, bro. Like, even what he just said, weapons of mass distractions. That's fire, bro. That's so fire, bro.
Watch CNBC. And on CNBC, you'll hear people say things like this. Start prepping. Start getting meals ready to eat in case there's something wrong. Start buying generators. Start making sure you're stockpiling gold because the dollar is fluctuating. They were worried about bricks and also other stuff. You turn on BT, what do you see? We buy gold. Hey, I'll take your gold. There's literally a dude sounding like Gold Member. Got 15 gold chains. Like, oh, come in Brooklyn. I buy your gold.
On BET?
On BET, on any network that caters to black people, wherever they're throwing drinks at each other and calling each other, you know, monkeys and biatches on reality TV, which is also owned by palm-colored people. So again, they're telling their people one thing and telling us something else, and they're still profiting any way you slice it. So
shit, like, even when now, mind you, he's telling them that the game is working, how it's supposed to work, how it was intended to work. So, bro, this nigga dope, bro. I love the way he be putting shit in perspective, bro. He's letting it be known that the only people that's holding us back is us. Point blank, period. If you want to thrive, you could thrive. He let them, he used them as an example. Like, bro, how many of y'all got these degrees and this and this and this and that? The one guy raised his hand to the broadcasting degree. But all of them started their own channel and is making money and doing something without all these degrees, which goes to tell you that the education that, you know, most of these women have been manipulated to think that they gotta have, and it makes them better than men or better than people in general, really means nothing. Because there's a lot of people, a lot of billionaires and millionaires who are billionaires and millionaires who don't have that college education. Charlie Kirk was one of them. You know what I'm saying? I'm just using them as an example, quick example that I just thought about off top. But he's letting it be known. He's breaking this shit down, bro. This interview was very dope.
Think about it. You go to these urban neighborhoods or black communities. There's liquor store, chicken spot, Chinese restaurant. When you go to their communities, if you go to an Asian community, there's not as much Chinese restaurants. There's not as much liquor store.
Insite,
no, nothing. And we only there to, you know, for us to our spending power.
Consume.
Correct.
Yep.
I don't give a damn how much money we have. Not one black person in America can buy an inch of land in any Chinatown, USA. Name one you know. Don't worry, I'll wait.
Sure, you ain't gonna get an answer.
It ain't gonna happen. Have you in the Delhi district or the Diamond district? And you know what I mean when I say that. You're not buying an inch. And if you do, there's a partnership attached to it.
Yeah.
In Little Italy, you ain't buying an inch, but unless there's a partnership attached to it. What about us? How do you let people...
They don't go to those neighborhoods, do they? Like
No. The other part of that is, how do you let people just run up in your neighborhood, open up shop, and I get commercial redlining because I talk about it in depth, but how do you let them open up shop and not tax them? But you got rappers coming into different cities having to check in, but ain't nobody checking in on Mrs. Kim, who's got a cleaners, a nail salon, and a corner store.
Oh my fucking God. This nigga. No. Yo, I wish I could play this whole joint, bro. This nigga talking. He said, meanwhile, rappers gotta come and check in. But Miss Ling Ling and such and such got the nail salon, they ain't gotta check in. Hey, yo. Hey, yo, bro, wake up.
But Ray needs new cleats. Michelle needs a dance scholarship. Run that. Because you're taking our money out.
That's true.
That's what I'm talking about. You are making a conscious choice, whether you realize it or not, to continue to be a victim by buying into victim mentality, as opposed to, and I'm not saying it's not easy. I want to be clear on that. I'm not saying that it's an easy thing to do. It is not.
Right.
However, how many people here have dyscalculia? Do you even know what dyscalculia is? It's dyslexia for math. How many people have dyslexia?
I might.
How many people have a
He said,
stutter?
I might.
So the 22-time best-selling author with dyscalculia and dyslexia and a speech impediment found a way to get through all of that and being poor to get here. So I'm trying to understand what the excuse is.
You got a speech impediment?
Yeah.
Wow. Well,
doing your thing.
Shout out to you.
But that's where I'm a bit conflicted with the narrative, because especially when migrants come here, they will use that same talking point to say, well, black, specifically foundational black Americans are lazy because, you know, you guys are capable of doing it. You just don't do it. You guys can do the X, but he did it. Like, so if he did it, then y'all should all be able to do it. So that, I understand where you're coming from, but people will actively try to use that against a lot of black people.
So let me make the distinction or the delineation. I'm a foundational black American.
Okay.
My mama black, my daddy black. I did not come from any place other than here. Having said that, I don't go to Jamaica and speak on what's happening in the grill. I do not go to Ghana and speak what's happening in Ghana. I do not go to Nigeria and talk about what's happening in Lagos because it's none of my business. It is not my place. Having said that, the first thing I said was that the system is working exactly how it's supposed to. When you come over here from the Caribbean, from Africa, from South America, whichever type of black that you are,
right,
you get an immigrant experience. You do not have 400 years of chattel slavery hanging over your head. You do not know anything about Jim Crow, and you do not understand what is happening to us directly. You catch a little bit of an incident here and there because you look like us, and most people can't tell the difference, just like most Americans can't tell the difference between a Japanese, a Vietnamese, a Chinese. Do you understand where I'm going?
For sure.
So I'm gonna need everybody who's not a foundational American, black American, to stay the hell out of my conversation. Understand it's not your place, and realize that we have things to do. I'm not saying that we're lazy. I'm saying no one is teaching us, and we rely too often on other people to handle what it is we need to handle. And here's what I mean by that. Name me the Jewish American hero you learned about in school.
Who that? Jewish American hero?
Yeah,
He said, who that?
Name me the Vietnamese American hero you learned about in school.
Hey, yo.
Okay. What about the Colombian American hero you learned about in school? Nigerian American hero you learned about in school? Yet and still, I hear black people talking about, they're taking black history out of the schools. Why isn't black history in your home? Your school is supposed to be.
Oh, my God. He nice, bro. I see why he a bestseller, bro. He good, bro. I'll give it to him, man. He did it. He did his homework. He did his homework, man. It's so crazy, though, right? Because I just ran across this video today, and I'm like, I got to play this, bro. This is a dope interview. It wasn't no, like, debates, and it was just a good conversation. He was teaching, you heard? And it's so crazy because I literally, I be cutting hair and shit. So I had a client last night around 8 o'clock. And me and him, we always build whenever, they say your barber is like your therapist and shit. So whenever, whenever we be building, he one of the guys I build with. And we was literally talking about this. And I was like, I was telling him, because he was asking me, like, what's my goal with the channel? And I'm like, to be honest, like, my ultimate goal is to really, like, kind of give niggas conversation on politics, sprinkle of religion. I ain't really trying to get too much into that, but like a sprinkle of that, right? Even though, God comes first before anything, you know what I mean? But the main thing, though, is to wake us up because we sleep. And most black people, when we talk about black people, and it may not be in the best light, oh, you a coon, you a sellout, you this, you that. When it's like, nah, it's not that, brother. You know what I mean? It's just that you program. You know what I mean? And I was talking to my man about that specific topic, about how important it is now, like I've learned this now within the last 5 years, like how important it is to really teach your kids in the home. Education, and so I was telling him, I was like, bro, we lack education. And he was like asking me like what I meant by like education. I'm like, no, I'm not talking about like social studies, math, and all that stuff that you learn in school. I'm talking about at home. I'm talking about at home, education at home, teaching your kids about financial literacy, teaching your kids about real black history, if your kids is black. But not teaching your kids to be racist and to hate white people and hate this person or that. No. Teaching your kids love. Keep teaching your kids, how to be entrepreneurs and bosses and businessmen and businesswomen. You know what I mean? Like teaching, if you got a daughter, teaching her, about marriage and how important it is to find a man who can substitute them things that you think that you need out there in the world from all of these different people. No, you can get that from one man if you find the right man, So a lot of teachings, it starts at home because that's what they do. My guy Dave Money, he actually had a you should go check it out on Hood to Higher Living. He actually had a segment with a guy that was Jewish, and I think it was more the original video was probably longer, but he kind of, the point of the video was he was talking about how his family growing up in this Jewish household, they taught him how to save money, how important money was in business, and taught him finances. You know what I'm saying? So that's what and y'all should go check that out and give him a subscribe also. But that was a dope video that he, because it's them small, it's not small really. It sounds small, teach your kids this, and teaching your kids in home is way more important than what they can ever get at school, bro. That's extracurricular activities that they learn. What they learn in the home is most important, bro. You know what I mean? What you teaching them. And that's what we lack as a culture. So what he's speaking on is 100% facts. Think about it. If you black, you from the hood, like myself, think about it, and it's crazy because our parents, the baby boomers, they really came up in that era of real programming. That's why, we was brought up different. You know what I'm saying? But now we in a time, bro, where the information, the blueprint is there. It's here for the taking. You know what I mean? So we just got to take it. It's just, They get us to focus on racism and all of these different what do you say, weapons of mass distractions. You know what I mean? So they want you in the streets fighting about this and that and this and that. Just imagine, right? If we was the culture that had our finances together, right? Who had our education together. You think motherfuckers would be in stores or even indicating that they gonna be going to Walmarts stealing? No. That's low vibration shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I said this should be a wake-up call for us. But unfortunately, man, it's going to take some time. But I see there's a lot of people talking about shit that I'm thinking about and that I'm talking about. So I feel like we're moving in the right direction. And that's important, bro.
Supplementing. Your education starts at home. Even Malcolm said your mother is your first teacher, and the teacher she gives that child is the message she gives that child, the child takes out into the world. We let everybody else tell us how we're supposed to behave, and we don't set the standards, and we don't check the outliers. We bury our trash with us. Our trash is in the house with us, and we just say, well, that's just how Uncle Ray Ray is. Don't leave your daughters around him. No, Uncle Ray Ray needs his ass.
Yeah.
Y'all let R. Kelly ride for 20 some odd years and didn't say nothing.
Yeah.
Even
watching it.
But even with that, one of the VPs at Jive told me, because I was in radio for a long time, I said, a couple of my jocks have that tape. And I walked past the studio and he's peeing on a girl. It's over. He says to me, Dave, listen, by the time this goes to trial, if this goes to trial, we're going to have all y'all dancing. And showing up, whoa, 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 whoa. And we let him ride. We don't hold ourselves accountable. We just let everybody do whatever they want to and say it's their right. We don't see any other culture. Andy Cohen, if he had daughters, and he doesn't because we know why. Hey, girl, hey. But if he did, I guarantee you his daughters would not.
Yo, the high 11, what up? Yo, yeah, you right. Pep rally culture, bro. That's a fact, though. That's all we care about. Is somebody getting in the street selling us hope and shit. You know, yelling and screaming, talking about a bunch of nothing, you know. But yet, when, you know, a guy like Dave, the business bully, you know, get on these interviews, or even get on, like, let's just say, I'm not saying that this happened or whatever. I'm just, you know, just interviews that I've seen on, like, you know, for instance, I think it's called the Native Land Pod, right? With, her name was slipping my. I know N.G.L.A be on there, the guy Bakari Sellers and them, they be on there or whatever. But they're the type that'll call a guy like Dave the business bully, who was trying to tell you not to have a victim mindset, who's trying to tell you to wake up to what's going on, you know, wake up to the game. Like my man always tell me that. He always be like, bro, this shit all a game, bro. It's all a game. It's all a game. But I'm like, bro, we in the game, bro. We're in it. We're like, so when you say that to me, what are you saying? What are you saying? Like, I'm not supposed to live. I'm not supposed to be an entrepreneur. I'm not supposed to be a boss. I'm not supposed to get some of this chicken that's out here. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand. Like, I understand the law comes first. God comes first. I dig that. But what I'm saying is, we in this life doesn't mean because you get money, you signing up to work for the devil. No, it doesn't mean that. It just means you want to live. And that's all he's saying. So a lot of them people like on the Native Pod, and even like maybe Charlemagne would try to challenge some of these things that he's saying, even though he's saying facts, whole like hard facts that we can't deny. If you're being honest with yourself, he's speaking facts, bro. We're gonna play a little bit more of this.
Be on no show, throwing drinks at each other, talking about they going with the wind fabulous, throwing fans in their face, calling each other monkeys. Why do we allow that, and why don't we shame them? When the Italians saw the Jersey Shore, they immediately condemned it. What have we condemned? Whose fault is that?
It's ours, for sure.
It's not our fault that they set it up. It's not our fault that they cast those thoughts, because thoughts run a mile long. I'm old enough to remember when Nelly slid the card down a girl's behind and everybody was outraged, and the argument was a real one. Even if this girl didn't do it, there's a million of them lined up. When do we shame them for that? But you want to cancel somebody for a tweet. Your outrage is selective. I'm outraged at the fact that we continue to not know who our kids' teachers are. I'm outraged at the fact that we don't know who our city council person is. We don't even know what district we live in half the time. But you're mad because of what Blueface did to Krishan?
Yeah.
No.
Oh my
that
God.
part is on us. And we've got to start setting a different level of standards. And that's not shading anybody. If you want to do whatever you want to do, cool. But don't
Right.
act like that's all of us. And for those of us it's not, we have to do a better job of saying, hey, that's you. That don't speak for all of us. And you can't tell me this is my culture because you're not one of us. We don't do that.
He talking facts, bro. And I just said that same. I use that same example about the whole, Islam thing. It's not a whole. If you want to act like that, cool. If you believe in that, cool. But don't put that on everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't put that
I
on
think
everybody.
we get a lot of backlash, even on our platform. Like, if you listen to the message, sometimes I always speak about the iconic "Why Eli" moment, right? And when you think about it, like, everybody only cares about her being irate, aggressive, and screaming, "Why Eli?" Right?
Right.
But nobody received the message that Eli was telling her that she shouldn't be messing with a married man. No one knows anything about that part of the episode. They only watch the part of her being. So even our content, we get a lot of pushback because they're like, "Oh, you guys need to watch who you have." We're holding people accountable. We hold ourselves accountable.
Certainly.
So why do you think that it's hard to hold people accountable, even if you're doing that, and now you get more ramifications for doing so?
And real quick, what does accountability look like? Because we use that word a lot. You know what I mean? Like, for example, R. Kelly, what does accountability look like from our community?
Here's what accountability looks like. If we're going to use the R. Kelly example, right? Accountability would have been, R. Kelly, we know, is a functional illiterate. So he's not booking flights. We know for a fact that somebody on his team who also worked for the record label allegedly went and got that forged marriage license or got that forged birth certificate for Aaliyah to be able to marry him. Why didn't anybody sue Jive? Why didn't anybody sue his team? How is it you're just the one man that got caught when there's an entire circuit that you did not run? This is not a Puff situation where you're at the top of the food chain. You're an artist producer. There's all these other people who are making money off of you who are benefiting for what they know is going on. This isn't anything like we stop at the one person like, oh, we got the man and that's it. No, tear up the entire tree by its roots. We don't do that. We let them ride. When is the last time you heard anybody other than Amanda Steinberg and me right now saying Andy Cohen is trash? When is the last time you heard anybody said that the real winner of the East Coast West Coast beef was Jimmy Iovine, who also made more money from Beats by Dre than Dr. Dre did? Y'all are sitting up here talking about, well, Harvey Weinstein ain't our problem. Yeah, well, tell that to Lupita Nyong'o. Because you love black people, right? Ain't all black people black people? Don't we love black people? Even if we're foundation, we got cultural differences. So if he tried to pull out and allegedly tried to get sloppy toppy, it should have been up on him. But you ain't stopped watching Pulp Fiction. You ain't stopped watching Spy Kids. You didn't hit up Robert Rodriguez and say, listen, if you doing business with Miramax, we ain't anything you put out, Shark Boy, Lava Girl, all that is up for. We don't do that. When is the last time we had a boycott that lasted longer than 100 days? And please don't tell me about that Target stuff because that's for white women.
Yo, I gotta do a part 2 of this, man. But that's the show for today. Yo, listen, man. Shout out to the Daily Wrap Up crew, man. This episode right here is fire, man. This is my first time watching their content. This was a dope interview. Shout out to them. I'm gonna put the links to this video and to them if you want to check out the full joint. But I'm gonna do a part 2 tomorrow, bro, because listen, man. I want to go longer, but I got something to do, unfortunately. But yo, he was going ham, bro. And the thing that I love the most is like you notice like I'm real big on like human behavior. I be paying attention to like the little details. And I love the fact that you see how he's not like, he doesn't have this know-it-all attitude. He's just giving you his experience, right? And I love the fact that he's not hesitating on any of these questions. Not like, let me come up with something. It's like, yo, since we speaking on that, I'm going to speak on that, and I'm going to give you an example, and boom, 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 boom. I like that a lot, bro. I like that. This is a guy who has maybe even experienced having a victim mentality, because most of us do when we come from the hood, to be honest with you. The first thing that we taught as black people is that you came from slaves, that the white man is superior than you. That they're better, that you know what I mean. So you already have that small complex growing up. They put it in movies, right? So when you watch these movies, it doesn't matter that it's a movie. Still, what's the intentions of movies and music? It's to change your mood, to change your mood. to make you feel a way. That's why movies can make you cry. They can make you mad. They can make you angry. People leave most of these slavery type of movies mad. And they be looking at white people different like, man, motherfucking racist, motherfucker. He probably racist. Like, you know what I'm saying? Even though that might even be, but it's just how he made you feel, right? So they want to keep reminding you that you that. That's why AOC was up there talking about, we made it out of slavery. We made it out of that. Man, shut the fuck up, bitch. You talking about a bunch of nothing. You know what I mean? But that's what they want you. They want to keep telling you you a slave. They want to keep telling you that the white man is oppressing you. Bro, they put systems in place that may hold you back. But guess what? Guess what? They done fucked up. They done fucked up. You got more you heard what he said. This is true. Black people have more opportunity today to do whatever they trying to do, bro. To be successful, to get to where they trying to get to. The problem is that we come from a crab in a barrel, mentality, and we never trying to pull each other up. And that's what we need to do more of. You know what I mean? We need to start coming together more and doing more together and building together. Even if it's something small, it don't always got to be some, astronomical shit. It's good to have big dreams, but you got to start somewhere, and that's all that matters. You know what I'm saying? And it's never too late, bro. Shit, I'm 36, man. I came home, 4 years, about to be 4 years ago. I came home from prison. And within that 4 years, man, I didn't got to fail. I wouldn't call it a failure, but I didn't had a business that I, gave up and started doing podcasting. Then went through about 3-4 cars, different things. But I've been at this one job. It's the longest job I ever had, like 3 years. And it's been 3 years. I'm going into the 4th year, but it's the longest job I had. And it says a lot, it's a small milestone, but it says a lot about the character change. You know what I'm saying? Like, a nigga actually care. I care about my finances. I care about my life. I care about my family. I care about being here for my sons. You know what I'm saying? So, you can change. I come from the hood. You know what I'm saying? I come from Camden, but I had another perspective because my mom moved us out the hood. So I was able to go to Deffer High School for a year, Woodbury for 2 years. And even though that's more of Woodbury is more mixed, a lot of black people too. And shout out to them. I love Woodbury, man. That's like it's like my second home. But I've been in the hood. I went to Camden's public schools where we had security guards and metal detectors when you walk through in the morning. You know what I'm saying? So I was able to be blessed to see a little bit of everything. And I also been on drugs. So I know what it's like to be an addict. I've been to jail 100 times. So I know what it's like to go in that Camden County jail. You know what I'm saying? When it was 4 niggas in the cell. You know what I mean? I know what it's like to go downstate and go down prison and be eating hookups and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? So, but I'm telling you, that shit corny, and it's the shit. That's just the past. But it's part of my story. And I'm just letting you know that at 36, you know what I mean? A nigga still got all his teeth. You know what I mean? Nigga still shining, glowing, looking good. You know what I mean? And it's not too late, man. So we all just need to wake up and get to it, man. Point blank, period. And that's all that matters, man. But that's the show for today. We're gonna do a part 2 on that joint, man, because he was talking a lot more shit that we need to get into, and it relates to the politics and stuff that's going on right now. My bad. But that's the show for today, man. It's your boy SL550. This is the Never Gonna Lose Again podcast. Make sure you like, share, and hit that subscribe button. Why? Because it costs you nothing. When you tap in with me, you know you're not bugging, man. It's all love, man. I love y'all. I'm out. Millionaire thoughts, billionaire dreams. I know niggas who played ball and gave it up for lean.
Millionaire thoughts, billionaire dreams, but my account in overdraft, I'm about to scream.
Rich man greed,
a poor man prayers.
Every man bleeds,
but look how God made us.
Too many losses, it's only right that we win. Yeah, I made a promise I'm never gonna lose again.